boys. To the go, to the go. This is Maine. About to do a quick little video. Hey, what's up with this damn tablet, man? Yeah, this technology is so trash. Easy. Yo, man, what the hell is this, B? Damn tablet resetting and all that. Yo, man, what's going on out there today in the YouTube world? I tried to check out that Avengers last night, but it wasn't a clear copy, man. Wasn't a clear copy, so you know, I'm gonna wait. Joint came on, it looked like I was looking through a dirty fish tank. I said, oh hell no, I ain't about to go through this. Then I was going to check out the Deadpool 2. I didn't even bother, man. I said I ain't even gonna bother because most likely this ain't a clear copy. Yo, the Avengers made over $2 billion. Megalithic ritual, man. Megalithic ritual, man. Over $2 billion. 2 billion, son. Rituals is alive and well. Started to watch a movie called Fifth Passenger. I couldn't even probably about 10 minutes into the movie, man, I had to shut that down, man. It's like the I don't know what type of camera they use, man, but it's everything seemed kind of off. The acting seemed off. The damn videography seemed off. Everything just seemed off. The special effects, like everything was just off. So I had to pull my ripcord. I'm like, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Somebody had asked me about the pineal gland. Y'all still asking me about the pineal gland? There was a couple people that asked me about that. You know how many videos I done broke down the pineal glands, huh? I need to be checking them archives, B. Ask me about the pineal gland or the ears ringing. I already broke down what it is. When the ears ring, your ears ain't ringing. The illusion is that your ears is ringing. You know what your ears is doing is picking up an internal vibration. I mean, it depends. It depends. You know what I'm saying? Certain times, when the ears ring, you know what I mean? It could be the pineal gland detecting a signal or detecting interference. You know what I mean? So there's times when your pineal gland is ringing like you hear that pitch, and it doesn't necessarily mean that that a signal is being sent, or you're picking up like a normal, like a signal. I spoke about it in past videos. You know, when your joint is ringing, it could mean that a signal is being sent, or you picking up a signal. It could mean a signal is directly being sent to you, or you just, you know, in crossing in between a damn signal that's being sent. You know what I'm saying? Or it could mean, why do people always be trying to jump the line? Yo, get in the line like everybody else, B. Or it could mean the pineal gland is attempting to come out of docile mode. You know? But it also could mean that there is a spirit attempting to install thoughts in your head or invade you. You know what I mean? It could also mean that. It could also mean that a spirit is coming within your radar, man. You know what I mean? But yo, this is something that I experienced firsthand. Matter of fact, I had spoke about this in past videos when I had came out the body and all that. And it was this freaking thing. You know what I mean? It's this damn disembodied life force was trying to scare me, son. Mother Dudder just kept like swinging back and forth like a damn pendulum, trying to scare me. I'm like looking at this, like, man, what the freak this motherfucker trying to do, son? But it's like every time it was getting closer to me, my pineal gland started ringing. It was like it was ringing, or the vibration just started increasing. You know what I'm saying? So that was letting me know right there that sometimes when your gland is ringing, it could be a potential spiritual invasion that's taking place. And the gland is ringing to let you know that it's sort of like an alarm. Like you got alarms on your house and cars and all that. Somebody about to intrude in your car or your house or whatever, and the alarm goes off. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might come close to your car and it'll go like whip, whip, whip. Stand back, protected by Viper. You know what I'm saying? Somebody brush up against your car. You know what I'm saying? It's like a warning. You know, it's letting the host know that, yo, man, somebody's trying to invade in this space right here. So you get that same type of example with the pineal gland sometimes when it's ringing. Now, you can't see these things, so you don't know. You know, your vision is fully locked in the third dimension. And speaking about this damn dimension, this is something that I mentioned back in eons ago, son. That when I stated that I don't even think that this is the damn third dimension that we're in, son. You know what I mean? I had mentioned this a bunch of videos ago that I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that we're in the motherfucking fourth dimension. Because the fourth dimension has to do with, girl, you better get your dog before it be roadkill. Not keep it moving. The fourth dimension got to do with manipulating matter. Now you gotta know that the beast, I'm gonna get back to the pineal gland, son. You gotta know that the beast, once upon a time, they didn't know how to manipulate matter. You know, a lot of people talk about they came from the caves. And they ain't come from no damn cave. Nothing just comes out of a freaking cave. You know what I mean? That's all masonry symbolic talk. When they talking about they came out of some cave. That means that they came out of a dimension of limitations. Caves have restrictions in regards to how far you could go, You know what I'm saying? A level, a ceiling, which represents how high your mental capabilities are. You know, things of that nature. Limited resources exist in caves. You know what I'm saying? That's all masonry symbolic talk. So they was once in a primitive state, and that would represent the third dimension, son. All got to do with a mindset. They not being able to understand what freaking fire is, not being able to create fire. Come on, man, stay in your lane, player. You know what I mean? They just basically didn't know anything. They didn't know a damn thing. So that would be like the third dimension. They are able to see certain things, but they don't understand how it works. Because they was able to see certain things, like how we build certain things, and they saw certain structures, and they seen certain objects and things like that. So they was like in a third dimension mindset, meaning that they see in certain things, but because they're in the third dimensional mindset, they don't understand how none of this stuff works. But they know it exists. And they know it works, but they don't understand how it works. So when you hear them telling the stories about the Moors brought the beasts out of the caves, and they taught them agriculture and building and maintenance and how to clean themselves and speak. You know, speak got to do with a form. It doesn't necessarily only mean teaching them how to speak a language. You know what I'm saying? Speaking is a form of communicating. So when they talking about they taught them how to speak, it's like they taught them how to communicate with energy on a certain level. Teaching them certain alchemy traits. You know what I'm saying? Raising their intelligence. Now they got the ability to manipulate matter. Because that's what the fourth dimension is about. It's about manipulating matter with the mind. You have people that's being manipulated by matter. Those are the ones who are in the third dimension. Meaning they don't really understand how none of these things work. And they are overwhelmingly, man, what's up with all this damn noise today, man? Freaking Matrix. Get away from this chaos. Overwhelmingly being governed by materialistic items. You see, the third dimension has to do with when you're in submission to matter because you don't understand how it works. You know it's there, you know it exists, you know it works, but you don't understand the gist of it. The fourth dimension got to do with manipulating the matter. That's when I was breaking down in the video when I was talking about the PlayStation 4, the ascending cube has to do with manipulating matter in the fourth dimension. You know what I mean? So like realistically speaking, like as I broke down before in past videos, dimensions is not so much a specific area. It's more like a certain type of knowledge that one can access. Because you could go in the first dimension and have a 13-dimensional mental output. So you got to know the dimension that you're currently in doesn't specifically identify the level of what should I say, the type of dimension you could access mentally. Because ultimately, damn, son, this dude hit somebody, son. Ooh wee! This dude hit somebody and kept it moving, son. You got a big ass body stain on his windshield, son. Damn. Yeah, the dimension that you're physically in. I'm gonna just use that word physically right now, son, because you know we in the physical body. The dimension that you're physically in, doesn't necessarily mean that that's the mental capabilities. In other words, let's say that we're in the third dimension. So because you're in the third dimension, it doesn't mean that you would only have third dimension mental output. Meaning that your mind would not be trapped only in the third dimension because your body is in the third dimension. You know what I'm saying? So that when you're looking at this dimension, as I stated before, this is a shape shifting cube, son. Earth is not round, nor is it flat. Check the archives. I seen what this mother dudder looks like. It looks like a spherical equalizer, son. And I'm just using that. Matter of fact, not even a spherical equalizer. It looked like a cube equalizer. Imagine you looking at a big ass cube that's moving like an EQ. You ever see the EQ, the dials jump up and down, all the cubes? Imagine you're looking at a cube imagine you're looking like a hypercube. A hypercube that's an equalizer. All the cubes bouncing, bending, twisting, folding, shifting, collapsing on itself. It looks bugged the freak out, B. And it's all made up of light. These are light waves that you're looking at, son. You know what I mean? So, yo, man. It's like because I was thinking about this. This is something that I know I had spoke about this before in past videos. You know what I'm saying? But I started thinking about it because I was watching. I started to do a little commentary because you know I fell asleep and the screensaver came on the TV, and it's like this. It's not even like a screensaver that came on right now. They upgraded the screensavers. The screensavers are like clips of like moving pictures. Let's put it like that, because that's what animation is. It's like clips of like animation. Like they show clips of the city with cars is driving and people walking, and they're showing it from like an aerial view. You know what I mean? So there's like they showed a whole bunch of clips and stuff like that. So I woke up and I'm looking at it, and it's like I'm analyzing it, son. I'm just sitting there just analyzing it, and it's like I'm looking at the cities because they showing you a bunch of cities all over the world. Cars driving, people walking, planes flying. It's nighttime, it's daytime. They showing all the lights on in the building when it's nighttime. They showing how all these structures look. And I'm just sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, yo, man. I'm like, this right here, what I'm looking at is actually fourth dimensional science that I'm looking at, son. Because it's like, if you look and see how they build these buildings in the city, man. Like, these buildings is not even buildings, man. They are like sigils stacked on top of each other, man. If you really pay attention and look and see these structures that they building in these cities, these corporate buildings, these megalithic corporate buildings, these churches, you know what I'm saying? They are literally sigils stacked on top of each other, son. A multi-dimensional structure that they're looking at, son. You can't do something like that in the third dimension. You know what I'm saying? Or at least with a third dimensional mindset. You know what I'm saying? At least with a third dimensional mindset, son. That's straight fourth dimensional science right there, because they manipulate in matter. That's what the fourth dimension is about. And it has to do with the mind being able to access that realm. Now you understand what the so-called resources is on this planet. It's tools, instruments, things that can be utilized to build against magnetism. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they're using a higher dimensional science when you have the ability to build against magnetism. Meaning that you understand how magnetism works, you know, what they call gravity, and now you're building against it. You know what I'm saying? Then I was looking at the trees and all that, and I'm like, yo, look at the trees. If you really pay attention, the trees is energy, son. Look at the freaking trees, son. Look how the tree look, B. It looked like a frozen lightning rod. You ever see how lightning looks? And you look at the tree. You know what I'm saying? Remember I stated before that, you know, when you go to the lunar dimension and you look at the trees, they don't look like how the tree look over here, son. When you're looking at what they call the bark on the tree, that's energy rigids. It's sort of like when you look at waves, like mile waves in the water. I ain't talking about no big waves. I'm talking about when you look at the water in the ocean and you see these mild little ripples, not even ripples, like these mild little waves just going through the water. Sort of like when you're on the beach and you look at the sand and you see like the wavy sand, like I showed y'all the other day. You see like the energy waves in the sand. That's what the tree bark is, son. If you really look at the tree bark, what they call a tree bark. I showed the clouds. Man, this van so damn noisy. I showed the clouds yesterday. Yo, why this van so extra noisy today, B? I showed the clouds yesterday and they, you know, the ripples in the clouds, the energy, it left the imprint in the clouds. You know what I'm saying? And you can see the wave pattern of the energy in the clouds that we breathe in. Now go look at a tree and look at the bark, what they call a bark. That's the energy wave pattern that has been engraved in the bark. Now when you look at what they call the trunk, the branches, the twigs, those are different energy descriptions that's emitting from Earth. You know what I'm saying? It's emitting from Earth. That's energy that's coming up out of Earth. Imagine, what is that invention that they had, son? There used to be this science store that I always used to go to back in the days when the Twin Towers was up. They had like this shopping area beneath the Twin Towers where you could go up in there, and they had a whole bunch of exclusive stuff up in there, son. And one of these little things, these toys, things that they had, it was like a glass ball. And inside the glass ball, I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm talking about. It's like a glass ball, and inside the glass ball, you would see like electricity flowing inside of the ball. And wherever you would touch the glass ball, you would see the electricity go right towards your finger or your hand or whatever, son. You put your whole hand on it. Now all of the rigids, all of the electricity that's shooting out of the ball, that's inside the ball, would now gravitate, you know, or be magnetically attracted to your hand. You know what I'm saying? So imagine when you're seeing all of that electricity that's flowing in the ball. That's what the damn tree is, son. See, but the tree is just frozen because the energy has left the imprint. So it becomes somewhat static, but it's still vibrating. But because we're in a dimension where vibrations are dramatically slowed down, so they could now be visible, it appears as if it's not moving, but it is moving. You know what I'm saying? You see it move every now and then when the quote unquote wind is blowing. You know what I mean? So you look at the trees, you see that it's actually, you know, it's electricity, son. It has that same rigid, like lightning effect. You look in your hands, on your arms or whatever, or what they call the nerves, your nervatory system. You see that same rigid network that looks like a lightning bolt. What they call a lightning bolt, which ain't really no lightning bolt. They just call it lightning because it's light, that's moving. You look at the word lightning. It has the ing, which is an action. So it's telling you that it's light that is moving. You know what I'm saying? And it has that rigidness. Just like the trees. You know what I'm saying? The electricity. The damn spirit. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at this screensaver and I'm like, yo, mother freaker. Now, and it's like, because it's like, I did the video a while back talking about how they got the guard race stuck in the past. Yo, we're going to have to freaking build on that. They not so much stuck in the damn past. They got their minds locked in a specific time frame. Like I stated before in past videos, their minds is locked in a specific time frame. Just like the caveman mind was stuck when he was when they claimed, you know, he was in a so-called cave, but that wasn't a physical, like, area where they was trapped in. They had limitations in their mentality. They don't really understand how things work, so they become a victim of it. They're afraid of fire. You know what I'm saying? So they got these people stuck in different dimensions. Damn, son. I gotta bust this U-turn. They got these people stuck in different dimensions, son. Just like I stated when I went to the lunar dimension. And I'm like, yo, it's freaking souls and spirits that's stuck in that dimension because they can't get out. They vibrating too low. They have a, it's like they got a damn second dimension and a damn third dimension mentality in a fourth dimension reality. You know what I'm saying? I gave the example when you see people stuck, like people be gravitated towards church, and they'll say things like, well, I'm trying to find myself. This is something that I spoke about a while ago. People, they go to church and say, well, I'm lost, I'm trying to find myself. So I'm up in church and I'm sitting up here praying, and these people assume that they go in there to find themselves, but realistically, they went there because a portion of their vibration got stuck in that time frame probably like 10,000 years ago. So they think they go in there for church to find themselves, but they don't know that they donated such a great amount of their mental chi in that area of the planet probably 1,000 years ago, and now they can't understand. Now they can't understand why they have this remote desire to just be there. That's only because a portion of their vibration still exists there. But because the way how the planet is, it doesn't turn like how they tell you it turns. Turn doesn't necessarily mean a rotation. Turn means a morph, a shapeshift. I spoke about this before. When you see like demons turn, they shapeshift and they morph. That's what this planet does. It doesn't turn like spinning, like how these damn scientists in NASA be telling you that the damn planet turns. It shapeshift and morph. They just give you a dumbed down version of shapeshifting when they tell you, well, you know, this is sinkholes, have sinkholes over here. You got land falling in the ground over here. You got to be careful. Mudslides happening. You got whole areas where it used to be heavily aquatic. Now it's all dried up and all that. Pyramids, upside down pyramids. They're like, how the hell these pyramids become upside down? How these pyramids is way down in the ocean? That's because it's turning. The whole planet is shaped. It's like a freaking Rubik's Cube, son. You know what I mean? It's like a Rubik's Cube. Hold on for a second. Yes. It's like a Rubik's Cube. You know what I mean? So it shape shift and it turn, and it's like you always supposed to be ahead of the curve. You always supposed to be at least one dimension up of the dimension that your physical body is in. Damn, it's noisy today, boy. You at least supposed to be at least one dimension up, son. Because that's how you rule the dimension that you're currently in. You rule the dimension that you're currently in by being one dimension beyond this dimension. Say we in the third dimension. If you had a fourth dimension mindset, you would fully understand how the third dimension worked. Therefore, you would be able to rule it. You know what I'm saying? So because the God race now ain't on the fourth dimension wave. You know what I mean? It's like they fall victim to the third dimension construct. So I'm looking at this freaking screensaver that's moving. I'm like, and they showing it to you from a helicopter view, and I'm looking at the cars, and they got it moving in slow motion, son. So I'm looking at the taxis all out there in the city driving, and I'm like, yo, that's not even a floor that they on, son, because they want you to think that this is the ground. You know, it's like the angle that they were showing you from an aerial view. It looked like these motherfuckers was driving on the wall, son. I'm like, look how many different dimensions they building in. Because they tell you it's a floor now. But, you know, just like I was speaking about that movie Doctor Strange, when they shift the whole dimension, the floor became the wall. You know, the floor became the wall, and the wall became the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at the cars driving on slow and the people walking. I'm like, yo, they literally walking on a wall. But because magnetism, which is manipulated energy, which would allow you to, you know, basically move in a dimension. In other words, the physics don't behave, quote unquote, normal. Hold on. Over here in the preliminary death sentence building. But yeah, man, like I was saying, it's like I'm looking at these joints, these buildings, man, and it's like you see how they build it. And you know they got masonry heavily encrypted in it, son. And it's like you can't do that with a third dimension mindset, son. You can't do that with a third dimension mindset, son. You know, you can't manipulate matter with a third dimension mindset. You become manipulated by the matter when you have a third dimension mindset. When you see people that use matter to define their existence, they are strictly operating in a limited dimension. You know what I'm saying? For the mere fact you got certain people out here that could identify these things. You ready? Come on. Mere fact you got people out here. You're the fourth dimension, man. You know, we in the, well, let me be specific when I say that, son. Let's just say that your body doesn't determine what dimension that you're fully in. Wagwan, mommy, wagwan. Let me now wait, mommy. We gone, mommy. We gone, mommy, we gone. We gone. We now wait, we gone. We gone. The fourth dimensional, man. You know they using the fourth dimensional science, man. You know, so I was sitting there looking at that screen saver for about a half an hour. You know what I mean? I might do a commentary with it. Break it down, so, because you know people don't really got the imagery no more, son. The only way they could get imagery is if they watching imagery. If they watching a TV show or some picture or something, son. People can't conjure up the imagery themselves because they have limited mental power. You know what I mean? But hell yeah. The pineal gland, yeah, when it's ringing, sometimes that means that you know, there's an invasion taking place, man. Well, spirit is up on you, son. Sort of like when you get goosebumps. What they call goosebumps. And that's just your radar standing up, signal letting you know, yo, man, you need to get up out of here. You know what I mean? It's like, because since I've been in the immediate spirit world, it's like my antennas has that frequency stored in the vibration. So it's like, what you waiting for, player? So it's like I see them things all the time, son. Other people can't see it because, you know, they'll be getting afraid and all that. Yeah, this is like China out here, son. Mad congested. But yeah, the people walking, they like walk on the walls, they walk on the ceiling, like literally. You hear them say things like, well, you know, if you drill a hole and go straight through the earth, you end up in China or Japan. So that would mean they under us. So that would mean they walking upside down. Now, it might not appear that they walking upside down, but how you gonna drill a hole or go through the planet and come out on the other side, which would be upside down? They can't be on the same level as we on, because then that would mean that they will be walking on their heads. You know what I'm saying? So if you coming through the ground and you seeing China or Japan, whatever they say, then that will mean that they walking upside down. So, and since this earth got so many different angles, you know what I mean? And that would mean that you got people walking sideways. You got people walking diagonal. Like, matter of fact, I had took a picture. I'm going to use that picture for the screensaver. This is the picture I took a while back. And I was going to do a video. But, yo, you already know how these videos be, son. But the picture that I took was, I was driving. And it's like you could see the road way down the street. And you could see the road dip, like the street dip, and then it began to rise up. So it looks like a big indentation in the street, and then it rise up. Hold on. So you can see that there's different angles on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Different angles and all that. So the way how you walk on this planet, you might think that you're walking right side up. You could literally be upside down and don't even know it because of the magnetic field. You know, everything is so like perfectly grounded that you don't really sense that gravitational pull. You know what I mean? You don't sense that gravitational pull. Yeah, man, you got people walking upside down, sideways, diagonal. You know what I'm saying? It's all different angles and directions that they walk in and on this planet, son. It's yo, man. You really start thinking about it, man, you understand why they lied and try to give you, you know what I'm saying, this weak description of this damn planet, son. You know what I mean? Because you got to know, when we first came to this planet, we was higher dimensional beings. So for the mere fact we being higher dimensional beings coming into a lower dimension, that is clear evidence that the dimension that you occupy doesn't necessarily dictate the type of mental capabilities you would have. We coming from a higher dimension, understanding how all this stuff worked, was able to build on higher dimensions because we realized what kind of dimension this was. This was a lower dimension. Now we've been here so damn long, it's like we lowered our mental dimensional accessing capabilities. So now it's like we rendered humans. That's why I stated we look way more humans than we do gods, man. Gods don't look like how we look right now, son. They don't look nothing like how we look. They look extremely extraordinary, son. They don't look like no man. You know, they gave you that quote in the Bible talking about, yeah, we made God made man in our image. That ain't got nothing to do with making the humans look like what the gods look like. That's just the imagery they imagined, how they wanted them to be. But you know, we downgraded ourselves. That's why even when you look on the walls, you see ancient depictions of us was like, it was a much more closer resemblance to the gods than what we look like right now. Like when you look at those pictures, ancient depictions of us, that would be a more closer depiction of what the gods look like than what we look like right now, son. Meaning that we was way more closer to them back then than we are right now. So the whole appearance would have to change. You know what I'm saying? The whole appearance would have to change. We dramatically changed. We didn't wear garments for a fashion. You know what I'm saying? We used, matter of fact, we used the most prominent materials on the planet and made it out of certain instruments because we understood that those are like mediums that represent technology. You know what I'm saying? We used to take certain materials and make certain garments or instruments because that was technology that you was looking at. When we was dressing in certain clothing attire and wearing certain jewelries and crowns, you know, bracelets and things like that, that was technology you was looking at, son. That wasn't no floss. Oh, we over here, you know, we gods. We know we got all the jewelry on and the crowns on and the emeralds and the baguettes and the rubies and things, diamonds and things like that. And we got all this gold, this and gold crown and gold vests and sleeves and all this bracelets and these rings and all of that. That was technology you're looking at, son. That was technology. You know what I'm saying? Wireless technology. Technology that was specifically designed to harness the energy in which it was made up of. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you got these scholars out here talking about we was rich, we had all the gold. Man, the hell with having all the gold. We had all the thoughts. We had all the knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the less you worship materialism, son. And it's a fact. The more knowledge that you have, I'm talking about the more in-depth knowledge that you have when you really understand. I'm not talking about these fake cats in the conscious community who simulate knowledge. When they try to make it seem like, well, you know, I'm knowledge, so I got all these cars and this jewelry and all this. No, they don't really understand what that is, son. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the ones who really understand what this is. They're not going to worship the material, son. Because they understand it's technology. And we was using technology on the highest forms. So when you look at man now, they using the technology, you know what I'm saying, on these forms, on a more dumbed down version of how we used to use technology. You know what I'm saying? Certain crystals and instruments that we used to build was technology. We use it to harness certain energies on the planet. The beast does the same thing. Satellites, TVs, cars, it's technology. You know what I'm saying? Harnessing certain energies up off the planet. It wasn't about the flaws, but you know, that's when we understood what this dimension was about. That's what we understood what the resources was about. That's when we understood what technology was about. We knew all these things, so we moved different. Fast forward a couple 100,000 years later, now we sitting up here worshiping Rolls Royce, Bentleys, jewelry, cars, a Rolex watch. You know what I'm saying? Louis Vuitton, Dolce and Gabbana, Gucci. We worshiping all these things now, son. But the people who create these things, they don't worship it because you know they got like the fourth dimensional mindset because they manipulating the matter. Now you got the people who's being manipulated by the matter. They are the ones with the third dimensional mindset, son. The ones that's trapped in religion. They trapped in religion, B. Anybody in 2018 talking about hail Jesus is trapped in a third dimensional mindset, son. You think the people that own religion, you think they pray to Jesus? That's all of that's on. These people set up plots to make it look like they praying to Jesus, because you know they got to make it look good. They got to make it look like, you know, this Jesus God is real. So you know they build statues, which is voodoo dolls. You know what I'm saying? They build these voodoo dolls. You know, they got these statues of Jesus in church. It's a voodoo doll. You know, they got these altars, these satanic seance temples that they, you know, which is church. They call church, where they do diabolical practices, drinking the wine, which is the blood, and eating the body, which is the Christ, body of Christ, and they eat it, the blood of Christ, and they drink it. That's all demonic. That's satanic, son. You look at these movies and you see these people eating bodies and drinking blood, and you be like, damn, that's demonic. But when you go to church, you say that's holy. How the hell is that holy? That's the same damn thing. The movie is a ritual. They not literally eating the damn body or drinking the blood in the movie. They symbolically doing it. And you will look at the movie and say, oh, that's demonic, man. That's evil. But when you go into church and you see them symbolically drinking the blood, when they say the blood of Christ and it's the wine, and they symbolically eat in the body of Christ, which is the bread, you don't say that's demonic. You say it's holy. That's demonic, man. Symbolic. Worshiping demons. You know what I mean? Worshiping demons. Your pineal gland's supposed to be ringing hard as hell when you're doing stuff like that, son. You're supposed to be ringing like a mother freaker, like, yo, mayday, mayday. But you know, once they breach your temple, they can now manipulate your energy, son. Fourth dimensional science, manipulating matter. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, you know, looking at that you know, looking at the screensaver, man, and you know, just seeing how Earth was the quantum computer, and you know, looking at the cooling. Somebody asked me what the clouds is. I spoke about the clouds. But, you know, I was looking at that that simulation, and you know, they was like showing the water, and they had the sun in the background, and you know, it's like, you already know I broke down the water already. You know, that's like an advanced liquid coolant for a quantum computer, planetary quantum computer. The same way how they make these super mainframes, these super computers, and they cubes. Well, that's what Earth is. Where the hell you think they get that design from? Where the hell you think man get the design from to make the supercomputer into a cube? You get that from this planet. You know what I'm saying? This planet is a freaking cube, son. It's a quantum computer. And it uses a super coolant agent known as ocean water. You know what I'm saying? A liquefied crystal. Because salt is a crystal. So it's an advanced coolant solution. Salt water. It keeps the processor cool on a planet. So when you're looking at the clouds, you're looking at a coolant vapor. They got computers out there that have processors that do hella calculations that use what is known as a coolant vapor. And they have computers out there that use liquid coolant. You know what I'm saying? You have some that use coolant vapor coolant, and you have those that use straight up liquid, straight up water to keep the processor cool. Earth uses both. It uses both, and it uses crystal technology to offset a hell of a lot of the heat, because crystals offset heat. You know what I'm saying? Go deep in the planet, you see it's a bunch of crystals. They offset a lot of the heat. I'm pretty sure the beast is gonna, when they come out with you would know when they come out with a serious advanced processor, when that processor is made up of a crystal. You know what I'm saying? A liquid crystal processor that can offset the heat at dramatic results. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what Earth is doing, son. That's what Earth is doing. You're looking at the clouds, you're looking at vapor coolant. Because the clouds is water in vapor form. When there's too much processing happening on certain parts of the planet, like when it's hot as hell on certain parts of the planet, you have certain mechanisms that are triggered within the simulation of the weather that bring the clouds together and make it rain on that particular part of the planet. Or should I say on that particular part of the computer. This is a computer that won't short circuit when it get wet. This ain't like how man make his computer, son. We talking about the gods now. Man make a computer, certain parts of it has to remain dry, or it will blow a fuse and short circuit and a fire would start. The gods, on the other hand, could make a computer out of water. That's how advanced they are, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got certain mechanics that'll be triggered in the simulation of the of the weather, and will make it rain on certain parts of the planet. You know what I mean? Now there's certain times when certain parts of the planet get overheated and fires are started. You know what I'm saying? Your forest fires. Your forest fires. I'm gonna fall asleep. The hell this joint taking me, son? Your forest fires and all that. And what they have to do, they have to scramble, because the humans are the backup generator. When things are being ran on the backup generator, you're always going to have malfunctions, because the primary power source is not governing the planet, which would be the souls. So you're always going to have them scrambling for errors. So now they got to bring these water helicopters in and drop water in the damn forest. Yes, mommy, you're almost there, mommy. Taking mommy to dialysis. How long you been on dialysis, mommy? Mommy, you not want to talk to me? How long you been on dialysis? Mommy, what me doing? They're taking you where you need to be, mommy. What happened? What happened, mommy? I'm mad? Mommy called me mad. No doubt, no doubt. Mommy in a bad mood today. I'll remember that next time you ask me to do something for you. The simulation. But yeah, man. Yo, we taught them, we gave them the source codes, man. We gave them the source codes. And it's like we went on vacation. I mean, we gave them the source codes and just went on vacation. Now everything is all effed up. In the Matrix, it's time for us to recapture. Matter of fact, the hell with them old codes. Because them old codes ain't doing nothing, son. You know what I mean? It's all about getting them new codes. It's all about getting them new codes. Them old codes is outdated. You see people breaching the codes? That means there's a flaw. There's a flaw in it, son. They can't patch it. They try hard. There was always somebody right there waiting to debunk the patch. It was like extra noisy today, man. But yeah, man, yo, it's a quick little video right there, pineal gland and all that. I mean, yo, take a look at them trees, man. Take a look at them trees. You see it's energy. Frozen energy. Energy frozen in matter. As I stated before, there's a lot of energy that's emitting from the planet that is manipulating people as well. So when you look at the trees, look at that as energy that's shooting up because of the magnetism, son. You know what I mean? Energy shooting up. Energy being manipulated by the magnetic field on many different levels. What y'all? Damn, son, this big ass truck, man, blocking traffic, B. About to get up out of here. You already know what it is.